What's going on, guys? Your boy Mod, man. I know it's been a while since I made a video like this, a few weeks, month or so. But today I wanted to talk about mental health and like the art of the pivot. This one, I'm fresh off a therapy session. I've been in therapy now. So fun fact, I've been in therapy now about 5 years. On TikTok, I've been doing these little shorts about this is what I learned in therapy. In 5 years, my healing journey, blah 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 blah. And so I just kind of wanted to share what's going on, mentally. And maybe you guys can relate. If this gets a lot of views, cool. If it doesn't, that's cool too. This is more of a reflection piece. And so, specifically talking about in therapy is just talking about growth, right? And kind of being able to, I guess, deal with hard things and how that's been for me. I don't have a script for this video at all. So this is me coming off the dome. So if I pause, whatever, I'm just probably just gonna post it like this as well. And so for me mentally, man, I even in doing this little series on TikTok with the things that I've learned from growth, it has been a journey. I think the biggest thing that I've had to learn is the power of giving yourself grace. And the reason why I say that is because if you give yourself grace, you can give everybody else grace. In life, you will give everybody else grace because you become more of a graceful person. And grace to me doesn't just mean like, I'm going to be as specific as I can. Grace to me doesn't just mean like, okay, I messed up, like it's okay. Grace is like really one, radical acceptance, which is something that I've learned in therapy a few years ago, radical acceptance. So that's accepting how you feel, accepting where you are. That's accepting what you think and not putting an emotion into it. You know what I mean? So it's like some days I'm like angry and I'm like, I wish this all would go away. And I accept that. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that I'm going to do anything to make it go away, but that just means that I accept how I feel in the moment. Some days I'm extremely upset. I'm like, bro, I hate this. Like, I hate how I feel. I hate my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying I really hate my life, but that's just how I feel in the moment. I accept how I feel and I don't judge how I feel. Because ultimately I know that I'm just having a mood. Something's made me feel that way or whatever it means. Another thing is, maybe I'm just like, oh, this is great. This is the best feeling in the world. Like I'm high on cloud nine, accepting that, not judging it, not saying, oh, I only feel good because blah, blah, blah. But literally just accepting, you know what, this is a good feeling. You know what I mean? So it's radically accepting that and then knowing, obviously that life ebbs and flows, but not judging yourself based on the ebbs and flows. Like, you know what I mean? Because obviously if things are not going well, you're probably not going to be as positive. If things are going well, you'll probably be more positive. That's kind of just how life goes, right? And so it's not judging how you feel, because of those things, but understanding that that's just how you feel in the moment, accepting how you feel in that moment, not always don't always react because of how you feel in the moment, but accepting that that's how you feel in the moment. So sometimes I feel like that. That doesn't mean I need to do anything negative or positive because of how I feel. That just means that I need to accept how I feel and give myself grace. Another thing that I do is sometimes I get overwhelmed. So sometimes when I don't make as many videos, like I've been wanting to do a video for like 2 weeks, I just didn't know what to say. Like I didn't know. And I told y'all before, if I don't know what to say, I'm not going to say anything because I'd rather not say anything than say the wrong thing. But I had to kind of give myself grace in the way it was like, you know what? I don't know what to say right now. I'm not going to force myself to say anything. When I have something to say that I feel like is worth people hearing, I will say it. And here I am. I have something to say. So I'm saying it. And so, it's being understanding, like giving yourself radical acceptance, but giving yourself grace, man. And I think a lot of it is also like knowing that life ebbs and flows, giving yourself grace, having perspective, and then also in giving yourself grace, let me think how I want to say this. I lost my train of thought. Also in giving yourself grace, knowing that there are good days and there are bad days. You know what I mean? You will have good days and you will have bad days, and being okay with that. The goal is not, and also even when talking about mental health, like try not to be this toxic positivity person. Like, I used to get stuck in that trap where everything's okay, everything's jolly. No, everything's not okay. Everything's not always going to be okay. And that's okay. And that's where the radical acceptance comes in. It's like knowing that that is okay, that everything is not okay. That is okay that I don't feel good today. That is okay that my mind's not there. And I had to learn these things because a lot of times, I think in this Western culture in America, I can speak to specifically where we are stateside, where I am, in Florida. A lot of times you have this hustle culture that tells you have to go, go, go all the time. That to me is not a healthy way to live. In my past years, and I'm a natural born hustler. Like I've always been the type of person, I'm gonna go and get it, no matter what. But it's like I had to change that no matter what mindset. I'm not always gonna go get it. Sometimes I need rest, and you have to learn that that does not mean that you're lazy because you're tired. That means you need a break. Your body is telling you need a break. And I know we look at people like David Goggins and all these people who are like these, phenomenal human beings. They do phenomenal things. But you also have to understand, like, everybody has an origin story. Yes, David Goggins is, 50-something years old now? David Goggins hasn't always been 50 years old. Yes, David Goggins can run 5 kilometers, 12 kilometers, however far he wants to run, 5, 10, 15, 20 miles in a day. That's David Goggins. That's also what David Goggins has built up to over the years. He has pushed himself and pushed his mind and pushed his body to these incredible feats. Does that mean that that's something that you need to do? No. Does that mean that that's sustainable and effective for everybody? No. And so we have to learn. It's just like the story of the tortoise and the hare. Just because you go fast, it doesn't mean that you're going to get there the quickest. We seen in the tortoise and the hare where literally the hare was going fast, 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 and the tortoise made it first. And that's because sometimes when you're going fast, that doesn't mean you're going to go far, and it doesn't mean that you're going to go long. You have to do things that are sustainable and effective for you right now, right in this moment. An example of that is a common example people use, and that is the gym. If you have not worked out in 5 years, why do you think that going to the gym 7 days a week out the gate is going to be sustainable or effective or good for you? Yes, you probably can push your body to those limits. Would you be able to sustain that for your body long term? Probably not. Most people that I know would not be able to do that. Unless you might have been a gym head before where it's all muscle memory and you're just activating those muscles. A novice is not going to just be able to sustain seven days out the gym, 5 days out the gym, out the week. You know what I mean? That's not a sustainable feat. And so it's knowing what's sustainable for you and starting from there. If you can only do 1 day, start there. And there's a reason why people say that, because it's not, we want you to come, but we want you to be consistent. And consistent doesn't always mean showing up 3-5 days a week. Consistent means that I'm going to consistently do this 1 day. That's what I'm going to consistently do. And then I'll do 2 days, or I'll jump from 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 3 to 4. I'll go from 5 back to 4. It's over time. So it's like you might do 1 day, 1 day, 1 day, 2 days, 1 day, 4 days, 1 day, 3 days, 2 days, 5 days, 5 days, 5 days, 2 days, 3 days, 1. It's like I'm saying the code, but you get what I'm saying. But it's like you're still showing up and you're going to the gym. You know what I mean? And so I start with my 1 day. I start with my 2 days. Like, I haven't been in the gym probably in a few months. And so in order for me to get back, I started doing stuff at home. So I think I'm on like day 2 or 3 of working out at home. I was like, I'm going to work out every day at home. Nah, I've done like 2 days this week. But I also do like physical therapy and stuff, to help with issues that I might have had in my body and different things like that from working out and, trying to be athletic and all these different things like that. So you have to, think about all these things. And then, when you're on your mental health journey, giving yourself grace if you don't hit it. Oh, man, I wanted to do 3 days this week, but I can only do 2. That's okay, bro. Like, you're here for the long term. You're here for the long haul. Whether the long haul is 6 months for you, a year, whatever. And it's also about, like, giving yourself realistic goals, And I'm the type of person where I suffer from this, like, tremendously. Like, I would always give myself this goal, and I'm like, oh, I can get it. I'm going to get there. Like, everything's going to be great. We had this thing where we, like, hustle culture. We push. No, we're going to get there. We're going to make $1 million in 6 months. Like, bro, like, what's the likelihood of that happening? And it's not to never say that you can't do it, but it's like, is that really the goal that you're after, or is the goal something else? You know what I mean? Is the goal really the money, or is the goal what you can do with the money? The goal is the peace of mind. The goal is, so you also have to find out why you're doing what you're doing. And I know I'm rambling, and I know it seems like a lot, but these are just the things that I thought of over years. Like, this is over years that I had to come to these conclusions. This wasn't something that somebody told me. I've learned through therapy, but it's more like indirectly by me doing my own work. You have to find things that work for you, and you have to make it sustainable for you. And so, and the truth of the matter is, if you do the tortoise versus the hare, you'll find out that you trying to do 5 days is the hare, right? I'm trying to go all the time, and then I have to stop because I'm tired. I'm trying to go, then I get burnt out. I'm trying to go. But if you do the hare and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna do this a little bit, and then I'm gonna build up from this, then I'm gonna go back, then I'm gonna build up this, then I'm gonna go back. Then I start to build sustain. I might be taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 2 steps back. But over time, I'm still going up. As a point of the hare, you got to go and you got to stop because you're tired. Then you got to go, then you got to stop because you're tired. Then you got to go because you got to stop for you're tired. Then you got to go, but you're still tired. And so now you got to take this long break. Then you got to go. Then you hit a plateau. You know what I mean? But it's like if I'm inching up, my sustainability is bigger. My resilience is more, you know? And sometimes we confuse resilience or overworking with resilience. And that's something that I've learned as well for myself is that I'm a hustler. You know, I try to hustle. I try to get things done, you know, not by any means, but, you know, get the money, do this, get the money, do this. And then it's like, it's a resilience thing. Oh, I'm just being resilient. I'm being tough. Like, no, you're being stupid because you're putting your body and your mind in harm's way for the sake of a dollar. You know, as you get older, you become more appreciative of your health and you become more appreciative of your mind and different things like that. Because, you know, you're a teenager, then your 20s, then your 30s, and then life just keeps going. And the numbers get higher, but you have to be able to sustain this thing for the rest of your life, however long you're graced to live on this earth. So that's one of the things, man, is just finding something that's sustainable and effective from you and build from there. And oftentimes you'll actually find out you can build quicker than if you're trying to do all these things. So hone in on something. If your capacity or your limit is only like 3 things, do 3 things. Don't try to do 5. If it's only 2, do 2. Try to focus on 1. Because the goal is like, yes, you want to do these other things, but if you try to do all these things at one time, you're only going to, it's like a glass, right? If I got 5 glasses, but I only got 1 jug of water, I'll probably be able to fill each glass partially. But if I do one glass, 1, 2, 3, I'll fill them more up. If I got 1 glass, the glass will overflow, which then means that I need another glass to come and overflow that one, which then means I need to add another glass. Does that make sense what I'm saying? As opposed to trying to split it. If you focus, you'll overflow in that area of your life, and then it'll pour over to the next one, which means now, okay, I feel I've exceeded expectations in this one area of life because of everything that I've given to this thing. Now I can go and take that energy into another area of my life, which means now all those things that you want to do, you might not have been able to get them done right then and there, but you'll get them done a lot quicker because you're focusing on one thing, you're knocking that thing out, then focus on another thing, you're knocking that thing out. And you'll be able to do it with excellence. You'll be able to do it with a high quality as well. So where does pivoting come in with all of that? You know, I know I'm 13 minutes in. For anybody who's watching, I appreciate you. Thank you. But where does pivoting come in with that? Because a lot of times, whatever your plan is, you have to alternate. Like, if whatever you're doing is not working, switch the plan. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to scrap the idea you have. You have to change the way that you are doing it, right? So whether you're an athlete, whether you're a person in business, whether you're a person in relationships or life, you have to understand that there is no one size fits all. And a lot of times we see the content and hustle culture and all this other stuff, which I'm starting to detest very much, because I was caught in it. I think we all are caught in it. And sometimes, because we see people with the houses and the cars, and you're like, oh man, I want to do that. I just got to go. No, you got to have a plan, bro. Like, even for a while, like people who are entrepreneurs, they got caught up in this 7 streams of income. And people used to think that means, oh, I got to have 7 different business ideas at one time. No, that just means that one business idea that you've been working on for a long time, you've now been able to break that off into multiple different avenues of that business. Like for me, I do candles. Okay, different streams of my candles would be, okay, I got a candle business, I do merch. I got a candle business, I do smaller candles. I got candles, I might do room sprays. I got candles, I might do, it just makes something saying I'm doing different avenues. Or okay, I do candle classes. I do candle pop-ups of vendors. I do candle shows. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got different sizes candles. Like, these are all the different streams. But you need to start on this one first, and then you can build out if you so choose. Because, yes, you could get 7, but you might not even need 7. You might only need 3. You might need 5. You might need 2. Or that one idea, that one stream might make you the million that you're looking for. But you don't know if you're trying to do 7 things. You need to focus in on this and then start there and build out. You know what I mean? People told me that, but I didn't understand it because I'm like, no, but I can do all these things. I want to do all these things. And it's like, yes, but it doesn't mean that you need to do it right now. And that's okay. And so, like I said, the pivoting comes from the fact that it's like, there is a big bee. I'm sorry. There was a bee flying around. But the pivoting comes from the fact that, okay, whatever this thing is, you know, this idea isn't working. I need to try to get to the next version of this idea as quickly as possible. You know, I read Paul Graham essays, which he's part of Y Combinator, which helped find these businesses. Pretty much ChatGPT, OpenAI, you know, one of the guys, they was from Y Combinator, DoorDash, all these, Uber Eats. I think a lot of these big companies, they come out of Y Combinator, and they're pretty much incubator for businesses to be these big global businesses. But anyways, Paul Graham, he's part of Y Combinator, if I got this correct. And, you know, he talked about, you know, pretty much the people that are successful are the ones who pivot the quickest. And I'm starting to find that to be true. And it's not because whatever your idea doesn't work. It's like, okay, if that little thing I tried didn't work, I'm going to immediately go on to the next thing. I can still do the idea if that's what I so choose, but I need to have some kind of metric. So for me, if you're a person that's on TikTok or Instagram, especially TikTok, you know that, okay, such and such videos right now, they're suppressed for a lot of people. They only getting 200 views, 200 views, 200 views. So for me, I was like, I want to try TikTok. So I've been trying TikTok as well too. And then some days on TikTok, they's like, oh, you got to post 3 videos, 3 videos, 3 videos. And some days I don't post 3 videos. I might only post 1. And some days I post 4, and some days I post 2. But I've been showing up consistently over time in a way that's manageable for me to the point where I can be able to do this, right? And so another example of that is like, okay, even me mentally and sustaining over time, I know, okay, once I reach 3 videos today, I know that's my max. I can't go over that. So it's like, all right, I can only do 2 videos a day. I'm okay with that. Or it's like, I wanted to do 4 today. I'm going to do 4 today. Or you know what, I can only do 1 today. But I'm still showing up every day, every couple of days, and I'm still posting videos, right? So that's me finding what's sufficient. What am I able to stick to long term? What is sustainable for me? And then now it's finding a plan, right? And this is where the pivot comes in. It's finding a plan. And so the plan for me was like, okay, I want to do this kind of video. Then I started to find out, like I do candle videos, but I find out sometimes my candle videos don't do that well. You know, I might only get 100 videos, 100 views, 200 views. And so people's like, oh, you got to show up consistently. You got to show up consistently, which I think you do. But I think sometimes you have to be patiently impatient. I think Kobe Bryant said that. You have to be patiently impatient. And what does that mean? It means that, okay, if the videos that I'm doing are only getting 100 or 200 views per video, I can continue to do these videos for a long time and hope that eventually they get 300 views. They might get 300 views, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 400, 500, whatever. That's a year that I spent. Patiently impatient or pivoting is like this. Okay, the videos are only getting 200 views. I could consistently post 3 videos a day times and then maybe my views will go up over time if I, you know, it's the hope factor. But patiently impatient and pivoting is more like, okay, this type of video that I'm doing is only getting 100 and 200 views. Now I can continue to spend the next 6 months hoping that they do more, or I can change my video idea to a video that can get more views. So then I change my idea. So now I'm doing, like I said, I've had therapy 5 years. This is what I've learned. And now some of my videos are getting 800 views, 900 views. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yes, I've been showing them consistently. But now it's also like I had to pivot because it's like I could continue to do that idea and it might work or it might not. Or let me find an idea that is sustainable for me, effective for me, and it allows me to pivot that actually works. You know what I mean? That's actually going to make people that click now, you know, because you also have to use the platforms for what they are for. So it's like if it's a certain type of video, it might be a certain type of video that's doing well. And so you kind of have to pivot and find a way to do that video in your own way. Right? Cool. If that doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. It doesn't have to make sense to you. I'm just processing what's going in my mind. And good thing about videos like this is you take what you need and you leave the rest of it. You know what I mean? And that's something else that I had to learn. I had to learn to leave some stuff on the table. Every video that people do does not apply to you. Every video that people talk, every idea, every tip that they give you, it does not apply to you. If it don't apply, let it fly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people say be a sponge, which you do be a sponge. You want to soak up information, but you need to soak up information that's going to be helpful to you. If you're just soaking up information just for soaking up information, you're going to have an overload and you're going to have a meltdown because it's too much information. I know, I'm that person. I get anxious, I get overwhelmed when I have too much coming at me at one time. So I take what I need and I leave the rest. And so you do the same thing. But most importantly, what I want you to get from this video, and it's probably the longest video I've done, 20 minutes. But most importantly, what I want you to get from this video is to give yourself the grace to figure it out. All of these things that I've done, it is because of the fact that these are what I've done. I've tried. Now, I think had I listened to myself more, and what people mean by listening to myself more, had I tried the things that I wanted to do, and had I pivoted more quickly, I might be further off or better off than where I am. I'm not saying I'm in a bad spot now, but I might be better off. But the thing is, the most important thing is you have to listen to yourself. So give yourself grace enough to be okay when you mess up and believe in yourself enough to listen to yourself. And so what I mean for that is like, okay, I'm not on social media as much right now. I obviously do TikTok thing, but that's just like a personal project. Like my personal Instagram page is deactivated. And that's because it was too much noise and too much chaos. And so me listening to myself is like, okay, I'm doing candles. What do I want to try on my candles today? What do I want to do? Do I want to do color? Do I want to do, scent, a different scent? Do I want to make it glitter? Do I want to make it look like this? Do I want to make it like that, look like that? And then trying whatever that idea is. Whatever the easiest idea is. If it's a hard idea, try another idea. Unless you want to try that hard idea. Try that easiest idea, and then you see how that idea feels. Okay, you know what? I don't like the glitter. I don't like the dyes. I'm just going to do this. And then do that, okay? And then find ways to do more of that. And another way for that is like, okay, for me, when I started candle making, I tried the dyes. Didn't like it. I tried the glitter. Didn't like it. I tried putting like objects and stuff on to make it look pretty. I didn't like it. It wasn't my style. But the only way I knew that was by trying the stuff and then figuring out if I like it or not. Like finding just easy things to like mess with. Dye, scents, this, wicks, whatever. Like it's just easy things. And like, okay, I have a list of them. I'm trying each thing. And if I don't like it, I just X out. So that way it gets me closer to the thing that I want to do. Yes, that is a tedious process sometimes. But the good thing is if you are locked, if you're giving yourself grace and you're cutting out a lot of distractions, you're more focused on how you feel, it's easy for you to pivot through it and go through it and you're going to go through it quicker because it's actually something you enjoy doing. Like I enjoyed making candles. So sometimes I don't mind doing the research and deep diving and finding videos because I want to learn. You know what I mean? What Dre said, the moment I start having fun with it, I'll be done with it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's the path that I chose to take because I feel like that brings me more peace and more joy. You can go be Jeff Bezos and stuff, but I know that Jeff Bezos has to sacrifice a lot for him to live the life that he wants to live. A lot of these very, very wealthy people have to sacrifice a lot of who they are. I don't say who they are, what they want in life, or they have to sacrifice a lot in their life to do what they want to do. Because when you're Jeff Bezos and you're Elon Musk, even though you're the owner or you're the person in this company, you have 10, 12 people that are on the board. You have other companies that are also invested in this company. So you don't get 100% say. And sometimes you don't. You have to find out what works for you. But you don't get 100% say in your company. It's other people that you have to go through as well. They don't tell you that part. But, the more funding you get as a company and stuff like that, the more investors that buy in. It's a whole thing. And this is what pretty much all the major companies do. So it's not just them. It's not just Jeff Bezos that owns Amazon. You know what I'm saying? It's Jeff Bezos, whoever else is invested in Jeff Bezos. And then he has board members and all these other people that operate Amazon. It's not just him. Another thing for another day. But yes, so give yourself grace. Allow yourself to pivot. So go through those ideas, man, that you have written down. Try them. If you don't like it or if you don't feel like it's working, immediately go try something else. You can always come back to that idea or that version of that idea. You know what I mean? I have done a lot of different things in my life, and some of those things I will go back to. They just didn't work at that time. And maybe had I pivoted more, I would have figured it out instead of trying to force an idea or something that doesn't work. If it's not clicking, I just don't believe that is for you. I could be wrong. You have to do what you feel like you need to do. And what I'm saying is, let me be clear. If you are a basketball player and you're just not making any teams, I'm not going to necessarily say that basketball isn't for you. You might need to change the way that you have to pivot in your approach to basketball. If you're a workout person, you're like, man, I've been working out, I just don't like it. You might have to change your approach and your relationship to working out. That is what the pivot is. It doesn't, so listen what I'm saying. When I'm saying pivot, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to change the idea. It means that you need to change the way that you approach that idea. That is what the pivot is. And then sometimes if you pivoted enough, okay, I changed this, I changed that, it's still not working, then at that point you can decide, you know what, I've changed this as much as I can. I've given all I can do. I need to change the idea completely. But you need to change the approach to ideas. You need to change the way you're trying or attempting the ideas before you scrap the idea. Because it might not be the idea that's bad. It might be the way that you're approaching. Or it could just be a bad idea or a bad timing for an idea or whatever. But you don't know unless you try. So give yourself grace. Allow yourself to pivot. Find something that you actually like to do and you'll be able to do it long term. Don't do nothing that everybody else do. Don't get on the internet trying to be an influencer if that's not really what you want to be. You can try it. I'm not going to say don't try it. But don't do that if that's not really what you want to do. And sometimes you just don't know what you want to do unless you try. So ultimately, you just got to just try stuff. You just got to just try stuff. So yeah, pivot. Give yourself grace to pivot. Write the list down. Write some easy ideas that you know, okay, I can get the ball rolling. I can just try these things. And then lock in. You know, when people say lock in, they don't mean like just go monk mode where it's like read a book 4 hour a day, work out 12 hour a day. Because, you know, I used to think the same thing too. That means I got to read and work out and read. Nah, that just means that like I can't consume everything else that's going on out there. All the news, all the stuff on social media. I can't always consume that. Or let me find a way to consume it less and focus on trying the things that I want to do. But most importantly, give yourself grace, bro. Like, and don't have unrealistic expectations for yourself. It does not mean you can't be a millionaire. It does not mean that you can't be as successful as you want to be in this life. It does mean that things sometimes take longer than you anticipate. It also, and I'm speaking to myself, and it also means that you have to, when we make plans, we don't plan for loopholes. We don't plan, not loopholes. We don't plan for, you know, things to come up. We don't plan for problems to arise. We don't plan for things to go left in our life. You don't plan for what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, be okay. Lower your expectations. Don't try to do 5 things a day. Try to do 3. And I promise you, at least for me, when you start getting them 3 down, you're gonna roll through those 3, and then you're gonna be like, all right, give me another one. All right, give me another one. But it's about building blocks. If you're trying to do 5 on a 2 capacity level, you're just doing yourself a disservice because you're gonna get exhausted with the 5, and then you're gonna do nothing. Sometimes doing something is better than doing nothing. You know what I mean? So I hope this video helps you guys. This is 28 minutes long. This is the longest video I've ever posted, and I'm not gonna edit it. I'm gonna post it just like this. So this was Pivot. This was talking about mental health, you know, and finding what works for you guys and giving yourself grace and, you know, trying to detach from hustle culture. When you got a lot of things in your ear, it's hard for you to think for yourself. So cut the distractions so that way you can think for yourself. And that's what I mean, trusting yourself. Think for yourself and actually locking on the things you want to do. If you got any questions or comments, drop them below. But until next time, it's your boy Mike. Peace. Happy holidays.